Hello students, so yeah, I welcome you all back onto this channel and I'm very happy to see you all after a very long time. And I'm really happy to meet for some non-technical session today because for past few days there was a lot of technical things that I'm teaching to for mechanical and civil guys, but right now we are up with something different actually. Okay, so basically in this session I'm going to take you through my experiences, how I have moved from IITM to HPCL and then from HPCL to BARC, all this things basically. Okay, so that's the basic intuition of this, and many of you might feel this like why these two are different. Okay, means basically if you clear GATE examination or if you clear some technical exam, like for example different PSUs, HPCL, IOCL, whatever it is, if you clear the technical exams, why there is a separate need for what makes different for you to attend the interview. This is the main motto of this session, and that's what I'm going to explain you thoroughly in this session. Okay, so say hi all of you, whoever is on live, so please type in the chat box. How are you all? So all of you please type in the chat box. How are you all doing? Good? Yes? So type in the chat box. Doing good, right? Okay, great. So now if you see, first let me tell you what are the things that I went to. So initially I was doing my MTech from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. Okay, yeah, hi all of you, namaste, good, thank you, you're looking good. Okay, fine. So then if you see, I have started my masters here, and IIT, yeah, good to see you. Even me, I'm very happy to see you all on this channel after a very long time, because it's been quite almost some 3 to 4 weeks that we met since last time. Okay, last time I was coming up with one video that how to score full marks in engineering mathematics. Obviously that day my mic had got some issue, and that session didn't go good, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm happy that I've given you some good points to talk about. Okay, yeah. LND Vinay sir, kaisa hai? Yeah, मैं ठीक हूँ Rishabh. Okay, so now if you see, I've started my MTech at IIT Madras, NIRF1, National Institute Ranking Framework. Okay, so you see, a government of India allot ranking to all the colleges depending on various factors like the technical outcomes from that college. Okay, depending on the research outcomes that come out of that college. So depending on various factors, this Indian government actually gives rankings to these colleges, and for past few years in technical institutes, IIT Madras is being in the first place, and I've started my MTech there, and from there I moved to one of the Maharatna PSU, which is Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited. So I've been there for some time. So I was posted in the Visakhapatnam refinery. Actually I was working as an officer at HPCL Visakha, and then from there I moved to the Department of Atomic Energy. Obviously the Jahangir Baba Sir's DAE, the Department of Atomic Energy, Baba Atomic Research Center, and I was posted for training at NFC Hyderabad, Nuclear Fuel Complex, Hyderabad actually. Okay, so it's in Telangana. Many of you might be, if you definitely clear back, I all make you to go to this place actually at least once. Okay, because that is such a fantastic place. Once you go in there, you actually feel what could be, you need to spend some time there actually. This is what you actually feel there. Okay, now once if you see carefully how to crack these interviews, how to study for long hours and also digest what we learn, yeah, I'll tell you definitely in this video. By the end I'll clear all your doubts, I'll resolve all your doubts, and at the same time I'll also talk about what could be the different things that could be done to do better in academics at least. Okay, so now first thing, how I've managed to do these three things. If you see, these three have different genres actually. Okay, one is completely academic related, one is a PSU, and one is of course the completely research side, the DAE, Department of Atomic Energy actually here. Okay, now how or what common things that I observed in these interviews is, basically if you want to clear any interview, why technical interviews are much important is, look, I'll tell you. Basically when a student actually clears a written test and goes for the interview, the people who are sitting in the panel, they already know that you are good at technicality, so that's why you have cleared the written test, correct? Because if you see, if you take GATE examination for example, GATE exam is being conducted for more than 35 years. So if you see, the pattern of the exam got changed, evolved over the years. Recently Swadesh Kumar Singh sir has done one fantastic video on YouTube, okay, on our channel. So if you see, this GATE exam pattern got evolved, but if you see the type of questions or the type of concepts, almost every year 80% of the GATE paper will be repetitive. That's why if you see, many of you might feel this, many of your seniors who have qualified GATE, they might tell you, if you can solve all the previous year questions at least twice, and if you can clear all your doubts, then definitely you are going to clear GATE examination with very good score. Okay, so yeah, hi all of you. Yes, so definitely you can clear GATE examination with very good score. Okay, because the kind of questions that come will be most repetitive in nature. Okay, so people who are sitting in the interviews panel, they already know that you are very good at technicalities. Okay, so now they want to test your applications. Okay, means let us suppose, for example, if I say limits, one simple concept which all of you might know. If people in the interview panel know how you know how to calculate limits, but they'll ask you how to apply these limits in technical subjects. They'll ask you for the application part. Okay, so this changes every year. Okay, so that's why many people, you might have heard from few of your friends that people who secured all India top below 100 or top below 500, they actually sometimes they couldn't make these interviews because their preparation or their way of attempting the exam depended or constrained only for that particular writing examination of GATE. That's it, writing GATE examination actually. Okay, beyond that they didn't think. That's the main reason why there is certain delay or certain certain place where they are actually lagging. Okay, so let us try to identify those areas. Just a minute guys, sorry. Okay, yeah, so now let us try to identify those areas where they are trying to lag. Okay, so basically if you take any technical interview of PSUs or IITs or in general any other departments, for example Department of Space ISRO, Department of Atomic Energy DAE, Development of Defense DRDO, all these things. Okay, so now if you see basically any technical interview will be generally classified into two types. One set of interviews who ask you for your favorite subjects. Okay, means basically most powerful subjects they'll ask you. Second, they don't give you the choice for any favorite subjects. They'll ask you for all the subjects. Okay, they'll ask you the questions from all the subjects. Now how to manage these things? For example, myself, when I was in HPCL, when I was attempting for HPCL, I was not asked about what are your favorite subjects. So it's like it's like you need to prepare all the things. Okay, similarly I have appeared many interviews in the past. NLC, Naval Lignite Corporation, I have attempted that as well. Even there I was not asked about my favorite subjects. But in IIT Madras, where I have went, and DIE, Department of Atomic Energy, I was asked about my favorite subjects actually here. So here if you see, so any technical interview is decided on these two things, that one set of them asks you for some favorite subjects and another they focus on all the subjects. Here are list of few examples. Okay, few examples are this. For example, IIT's intake. If you go for IIT MS or PhD admission in general, or in some cases MTech do have some interview process actually. For example, IISc Bangalore, you take one of the most famous departments of data science, all these things, mechanical engineering. Okay, mechanical is based on direct score, but if you take some recent crux branches, for example data science, okay, or if you take for example polymers technology, these kind of recent branches, they are asking you for some technical interviews. They're not going to give you direct admission based on your GATE score. Especially any multidisciplinary program in IITs or IISc, if you want to get an admission, then they are definitely asking you for technical interview, especially multidisciplinary. Okay, because your knowledge is something different in the core subject, but when you go for a multidisciplinary degree in IIT, then definitely they want to test your knowledge or skills in the multidisciplinary departments basically. Okay, for example, if they ask you some interview questions, 2-3 questions they'll put from the mechanical, or if you are from mechanical, 1-2 questions they try to put it from some other department which is closely connected to mechanical actually. Okay, so that's how they are testing the interviews. Here, why they ask you for the professional or for example favorite subjects you call is because if you take, for example, let us suppose if I am from mechanical engineering background, and let us suppose if I want to do my MTech in thermal engineering, for example, let us say, then when I go for an interview or MS in thermal specialization, then they'll ask me questions related from that particular domain. Okay, so that's why they actually restrict to some particular favorite subjects in these things. Okay, yeah, good evening all of you. Now here if you see, there is no such choice, but even when there is no such choice, you can still guess what could be the most probable subjects actually. Favorite subject is completely in your hand. You can just tell them, sir, yes, I'm good at these subjects, you can ask me this. Okay, they'll ask you to list down. For example, if you see one funny thing that happened in BARC interview, I'll tell you. When I was appearing for BARC Scientist C guested officer post, they asked me to write the favorite subjects. So first subject I have written is engineering mathematics, which generally people don't write. Okay, so such kind of things, they give a little shock to them, but you should be very thorough with the subjects, otherwise these people will give shock back to you again. Okay, so that's why whenever you're writing any subject name, you should be very careful. Clear? So now if you see this, basically Department of Atomic Energy, Defense, ISRO, IIT's intake, all these things, they ask you for some favorite subjects. Okay, hi Shubha Karan, Anamika, hi all of you. Okay, Yeah, 50 Shades. Go. We got a good guy here. 50 Shades. When will IIT JAM launch in PW? Very soon. Okay, so hopefully within a month's time or so. Depending, we'll definitely put out something. But IIT JAM, if you see, I don't know if your interest is maths or science. Basically from science background, there is a lot of already some good content that's available in the channels of our PW where you can get some good info. Okay, so now let us see how actually decide my favorite subject. How do I decide my favorite subjects? It's not like I like engines so much so I can say engines as my favorite subject, for example. Okay, how actually, what are the factors should I consider when I write one subject on the board? Because I am going to tell you, whatever the subjects you write them, definitely they will have a panel. For example, in BARC, when I was clearing BARC, there was a panel of 6 members actually. Okay, 6 very elder and senior scientists. Okay, so if you see, that panel consists of that panel is made in such a way that every subject, whatever the subject you are, definitely there is at least one person who has very strong knowledge on that particular subject. Okay, so the panel will be set in such a way. Clear? So it's not like you can think that okay, there might not be a person from this subject, so I'll write this subject. Okay, for example, when I went to BARC, as I told you, I didn't write engineering mathematics because I didn't think that like there won't be any person of mathematics there. I know whenever you're doing a good research, definitely all the people are very strong at mathematics. So when you write some favorite subject, what are the things you need to consider? What subjects you can call them as your favorite subjects? Let us try to see. So these are the quick factors what you should decide on before telling your favorite subjects. Okay, so let us see the first thing. Strong fundamental knowledge, obviously. So how you actually get the strong fundamental knowledge? Basically, when they ask you to write your favorite subjects, they mean your strong subjects. Okay, like for example, it's obvious, even in a particular subject, we know that we don't study 100% of the syllabus. It's very clear to us. Okay, for example, I teach fluid mechanics for a lot of time. I've been teaching it for past 4-5 years, but there could be still some topics or still some locations in the syllabus in the sense, not the gate, but in general fluid mechanics, where I might not have touched them up. Okay, but now if I write fluid mechanics, then it's very certain that I can get a question from that particular regions. Okay, so when you write a subject as your favorite subject, you should try to do your 100% on that particular subject. Okay, between the time of your technical interview and written examination, you should definitely try to look out those subjects which basically where you need to develop your strong fundamental subjects. Okay, now let us suppose there are such PSUs or such departments where they don't ask you for favorite subjects. Then what subject you have to study? It depends upon the functionality of that department. For example, let us suppose if you take IOCL, Indian Oil, for example. Okay, in Indian Oil, for example, I'm just taking one of the names because recently some of my friends have entered there, or HPCL, where I myself have worked. If you see, they don't ask you for favorite subjects, but you know the functionality of HPCL, correct? Related to engineering, what you do there, for example, there is some fluid, you need to transfer it from one location to another location. So normally pipes is what you have. Okay, so that means you have to study something about hydraulics or fluids. Okay, because there is some transfer of fluid. If you are from chemical engineering, obviously HPCL is a chemical. Normally, let us suppose I'm taking one case that you are attempting one interview, for example. So depending upon the functionality of the department, or depending upon the functionality of the PSU, you should decide what are the subjects you need to put some focus on actually. Okay, this is one very, very important step that all should do. Am I clear so far? So please type in the chat box. Am I making some sense or just speaking like a lecture? Whatever you have doubts, you can always ask me in the chat box. Okay, I'll be very much happy to answer all your doubts. And definitely this session, we are I'm going to share whatever I have experienced over the past 5-6 years in trying to attempt PSUs, IITs, or departments like DA, ISRO, all these things. Okay, sometimes look, it's quite possible in many students' life that when you attempt an exam, you miss it by very narrow edge. For example, 2019 ISRO exam, 2018 sorry, okay, 2018 ISRO exam, I missed it by 1 mark. Honestly speaking, I missed it only by 1 mark. Okay, by that time I was in IIT Madras actually, so I was planning to write a PSU or department, and I need to, because at that time my thing was to go for a job. So it's like my intention was to shift from IIT to PSU or maybe departments, okay, ISO or DRDO or whatever. So when I was trying to attempt this, I missed it by just 1 mark. Okay, and obviously even if you miss by 1 mark or half mark, doesn't matter, disqualification is disqualification at the end. So my thing is, again, you need to start bouncing back. Okay, it's not like once you got rejected or once you got something in anything, even in life, okay, once you got rejected, don't feel that's the end or that's the destiny. Try for one another, that's it. Okay, so now if you see, बार्क का फॉर्म कब तक आएगा? Normally it comes out in February, January ending. Okay, after Pongal it comes out. You can apply, and definitely you can. The exam written test will be somewhere in the March, and basically after gate result comes out, the written exam is scheduled in January, and you can give an attempt. Okay, and if you see, so whenever you get failed in one PSU or one interview, you should definitely start learning from your mistakes. This is one very important point. Okay, because if you see, out of 100% syllabus, if you are thorough with 60% of the syllabus, and if you are not thorough with the 40% of the syllabus, for example, and let us suppose you are committing mistakes in this 40% syllabus, then as the more mistakes you keep on committing, the syllabus with your perfection keeps on increasing. Okay, means initially you are not thorough with the 40% of the syllabus. Now after learning from some mistakes, you will be not thorough only with 30% of the syllabus maybe. So finally there comes a day within one and a half to 2 years in your life that if your efforts are sincere, definitely you can easily end up with these things. Okay, with one of these things which I'm going to talk now. Okay, so the first thing, sir, आप कौन से डिपार्टमेंट से हो? मैकेनिकल से. ओके, सो फाइन, लेट अस सी नाउ. इफ यू सी, फर्स्ट थिंग इज स्ट्रॉन्ग फंडामेंटल नॉलेज. सो दिस स्ट्रॉन्ग फंडामेंटल नॉलेज शुड बी obtained on those subjects which you are about to write as your favorite subjects, or the subjects which you feel that they are necessary depending upon the functionality of the PSU or functionality of the department actually. Clear? So this is how you need to focus on those subjects. Look, as soon as you write your written test, of course written test doesn't have any favorite subjects or particular subjects, so as per the syllabus you should prepare for all the subjects to clear the written test. But as soon as the written test is finished, definitely you should start working on these kind of subjects where you are going to write either as favorite subjects, or depending upon the functionality of the department or functionality of the PSU, you should decide those subjects how you can actually focus on, and you should spend enough good time on that particular subject in all the fundamentals. Like for example, I'll ask you one thing. Okay, good evening, hi all of you. Okay, how many mock needed? Maybe one, hardly. Okay, now I'll tell you one thing. For example, when I was I heard from one of my friends actually, in one of the mathematics interviews, he actually cleared MSc in JAM and went to one of the IITs. Okay, there is some interview in one IIT. They asked, what is a determinant? For example, today Vishal Soni sir has taken one fantastic session. Okay, so they asked, what is a determinant? Okay, this guy told AD minus BC, because obviously if we take a 2D matrix, A, B, C, D, AD minus BC is the determinant. Then they told him, no, we are not asking you the value of the determinant. What is a determinant? This is what they are asking you. Okay, and obviously we have dealt with determinant since childhood, almost from class 10, class 11 at that time, but we exactly don't know what is actually determinant. So that's where you lag, for example. Okay, so that's how such finite touches you need to give for each and every minute concepts that are involved in the syllabus. Okay, so this is the first and foremost step you need to do clearly and very importantly. So once that is done, so this is how you need to spend time. Subjects from multiple domains, like for example, multiple domains means normally if you see GATE syllabus, in general GATE syllabus, your complete syllabus is scheduled into 4 to 5 sections actually. Okay, for example, mathematics, one section, so then some similar kind of subjects in the second section, some similar kind of subjects in the third section. You have the complete syllabus into 3 to 4 sections. Okay, so it's always suggestible for you whenever you're attempting for any interview, at least try to have one or at maximum 2 subjects from other domains also. Like for example, if you talk about mechanical, I'll tell you what is I'll tell you about mechanical. For example, if you see subjects like thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, heat transfer, these are from the thermal group actually. So it's always better, along with this one group of subjects, you should better have some subject from other group, like strength of materials, for example, say something like this. Okay, so now if you see this, always having the subjects from multiple domains is very important, because many times students will be in shock. I'll tell you, it doesn't happen much in IITs, but it do happen with PSUs and departments. They do this. Okay, because the panel is made of all the people, so that's why they'll ask you to write at least 2 subjects from 2 sections. Okay, so if you see, it don't happen much in IITs, because if your focus is towards thermal, if your focus is towards a particular research in a particular topic, they'll ask you questions from that. That's okay. But in many other PSUs, since the panel is consisted of all the people, means all the experts from all the subjects, they generally expect you to write the subjects from 2 different sections at least. Okay, at least 1 subject from the other section. So that's why it's always suggestible for you to write subjects from multiple things. Okay, then if you see the third point clearly, you should always have a blend, a mix of basic and advanced subjects. Many of the subjects you see in your first year, second year, for example, these subjects you deal in fundamental subjects. For example, you take engineering, mathematics, or simple basic electronic devices. These kind of subjects, they come in the second and first year of your BTech. Okay, so along with these subjects, then you should go for the applied subjects, which comes in your third final years also. So you should always pick one subject such that it belongs to an advanced subject. Okay, it's not like you pick 3-4 basic subjects and then write them as the favorite subjects or prepare them. Okay, you should always have a clear cut idea on what are the topics or what are the basic subjects that we are going to deal, and it should involve the basic subjects plus at least one or preferably two advanced subjects. Clear? Because advanced subjects will make the panel understand that you can actually apply your basics and do some derivations or things if they ask you. Okay, so this is one very, very important thing in case of this selection of subjects. Okay, and of course the last thing, as I told you in the beginning, in concurrence of functionality of the department, you need to choose the subject. So basically this is how you should spend time on subjects. Okay, on deciding the subject, it's not like I like thermodynamics, so I'll write thermodynamics as favorite subject. No, it's not you like or not, it's about you know or not. Okay, so when you go for the interviews, it's all about whether you know the subject or not. Okay, but not since I'm in very let us suppose Vanessa is teaching fluid mechanics, so I love Vanessa so much, let us write fluid mechanics. No, never attempt such things when you are asked to write technical subjects or your favorite subjects. Okay, please make sure that you have enough idea before writing a name on the subject. Okay, and secondly, when you are answering for the questions actually in interviews, make sure that you use the words, means basically you use the words of those concepts which you actually know. Okay, for example, because if you see every question in an interview, it actually depends upon your answer. Okay, let us suppose if you ask me some question and if I answer it technically, then the panel tries to pick the words from my answer and their next question is actually based on this answer. So please try to make an exercise that many times when you try to answer, please make sure you are using the words of those concepts which you know very thoroughly in the answers that you're telling actually. Okay, for example, for example, let us suppose if I am bad at some particular topic, I should make sure when I'm making a mock or something, I should make sure that I'm not going to use that word at any point in my discussion with the panel. Clear? So this is one very, very hyper technique to clear all the questions asked by them or to mold the interview actually. Okay, of course, it's not, you cannot completely mold the panel, but it's still a very good attempt for you to speak only those words which are very much familiar to you. Okay, so that's one of the good practice. So basically this is how you actually select the subjects. Okay, and now if you see, of course, interviews basically means studying. You have to study a good and you need to get thorough confidence on all the subjects. Okay, but apart from this studying and all, what you should know, you should actually know the dynamics of the interviews. Okay, what is basically dynamics of the interviews? Let us suppose the same type of interview doesn't work for all. For example, the type of interview atomic energy conducts and the type of interview some other things conduct, it's not same. Obviously there is some change. Obviously, how you should know this change? Okay, and obviously nowadays you have a lot of platforms like, for example, Quora, Facebook pages, YouTube channels. As soon as the interview is done, they'll keep on talking about that. Okay, one thing that I don't suggest you is basically Telegram is what I don't suggest as of now, because I'll tell you the drawback in this. Normally Telegram channels are created in such a way that everyone can post in that. Okay, let us suppose tomorrow, today if I go for the interview, I'll post, then for my answers there will be some 50-20 messages continuously. Again tomorrow someone will post, again 50-20 messages. So what happens, students' time gets up in reading these messages, keeping unnecessary fears and all these things. Okay, so that's why I don't suggest those platforms where people can actually give enough amount of, everyone can give enough amount of information actually. Okay, but if you see Quora pages, what happens, for a particular doubt, a person who has cleared it or who is working in that particular department or in that particular PSU gives an answer. That's good, that's something appreciable. Okay, your time gets saved. Similarly, Facebook posts are done by very limited people. Of course, comments you have many. Okay, but posts are done by few people. Similarly, YouTube channels. Okay, and of course I'll try to tell one honest thing about this. Normally when people come on channel, it's important for us to keep the interest of all the audience, all type of audience. Okay, some people are interested if Vanessa talks about interview, and some people might be interested if Vanessa talk about something else. Okay, his personal life. Okay, so maintaining this channel, it's really important for us to keep the interest of all the audience, all the set of audience. But as a student, it's really important for you to pick which videos should I spend my time on. Okay, this is one very, very important thing that you actually should follow. Clear? Because as I told you, every day, because of a lot of things, we keep on posting, on an average some 6 to 8 videos, but it's really your point, or it's really your turn to pick those videos and to spend time on those videos actually. Okay, which actually you need help. Okay, so that's why you should focus on those videos and try to observe one thing. More than planning, try to execute it. Okay, because it's a common mistake that done by many of you, even including me once upon a time. If you see, we used to plan, okay, this day I'll finish this subject, this day I'll finish this subject. Okay, so we spend lot of time in planning, but honestly speaking, we never find such enough time in executing the things on what we planned actually. Okay, for example, we'd say that today 3 hours I'll study engineering maths, for example, engineering mathematics, but honestly whether we are studying or not, we know actually. Okay, and just be honest to yourself, just practice, that will definitely give you a very good idea. Okay, so normally these are the 3 most suggestible things that I would like to give you, because as I told you, here the number of posts or the information is very channeled and streamlined. Okay, it's not like every X and Y can post some a message and can some post some content actually there, but these kind of things actually give you some consolidated information. Okay, so that's really important for you. So saving time is the ultimate thing. Okay, I'll continue just a minute. There is some comment. So our final year gate marks, what we score in exam, or generalized marks on the factor of toughness, number of persons appeared, topper marks, etc. Normally if you see gate examination, if you see, the papers are of 2 types. Okay, first kind of papers, when the number of aspirants are less, let us suppose there are few subjects where only some 20,000 30,000 people write the exam. For such cases, what they do is generally a single slot is sufficient to conduct exam to all those candidates. Okay, so when you conduct exam in a single slot, then whatever the marks you score, those are your final gate marks. Okay, but let us suppose if an exam is conducted on some multiple slots, 2 slots or 3 slots for example, then in that case there is something called normalized marks. Okay, those marks won't be same as, might not be same as your final, the marks actually what you scored. Okay, depending upon the toughness, number of aspirants applied and all, you actually have certain differences. Okay, and again, so is lateral entry students eligible for PSUs? Why not? Obviously, if you have a BTech degree, that's it, then definitely means, of course, even sometimes even without BTech, even with a diploma qualification also, there are many PSUs which are recruiting nowadays. Okay, for technician posts and all. Recently when I was in HPCL, some time back, there came a notification, boiler technician, something like this. Okay, so that's why your degree, look, I'm telling you one thing, every person, every qualification, every degree will definitely have some eligibility for some job. It's your job to study well and to clear the interviews. Okay, it's not like whether I am BTech, I am lateral entry. No, may not be company X PSU, but Y PSU may allow it. Okay, so that's how every job, every study, every degree in this world has definitely some job for it. Okay, if the person is not employed after continuous efforts, then there could be some modification that has to be done in his preparation or in his way of attempting the things. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so is there last difference between normalized marks and what we scored? No, not much, hardly. If you speak, sometimes it weighs somewhere in between 2 marks to 4 marks, somewhere in between, but in out of these thousands of students writing the exam, those 2 to 4 marks will actually make some. 4 is also a very big number. Normally 2 to 3 marks it happens. So that actually, if you see, that creates a big impact normally on the gate rank actually. Okay, I'll tell you for example. Okay, normalization actually takes very sometimes very adverse effects on the gate ranking system actually. Okay, so but anyhow, make sure that you complete 100% of your syllabus and you write the examination. Okay, and now if you see, as I told you, please follow these things, Quora, Facebook and EdTech channels actually to write this. Okay, so few years back I have watched one video actually, okay, of Virat Kohli, one of the famous cricketer. Obviously he needs no introduction. So he told one very statement which was my favorite statement also since the childhood. Okay, and this statement is, leave no stone unturned. Okay, normally what happens, you should try to keep each and every attempt that is possible. Have you seen this movie Mission Mangal? How many of you have watched this? So please tell me, how many of you have watched this Mission Mangal movie, where Akshay Kumar, Vidya Balan, Sonakshi Sinha, all these people play in it? So please tell me, how many of you have watched it? How many of you have watched this film? Please type in the chat box. Mission Mangal, basically the launch of Mangalyaan, Mission Mangalyaan actually. How many of you have watched it? Come on, respond in the chat box. Type it in the chat box. Many of you have watched it, right? Many of you might have watched it. Look, if you see, despite of there's one funny scene I will tell you in that movie. Okay, dekha hai na? Okay, me not watched. Yo, good. Okay, fine. So if you see, I will tell you one simple and of course for some funny moment of that scene. In the final, when Mission Mangal is about to take off, all these people. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll explain you who haven't seen the movie. I'll tell you. What happens is they'll do all the analysis for the rocket to which the orbit and all. They'll do every analysis. Okay. In the beginning, what happens is in that movie, first scene is one rocket which fails to launch, and second rocket, Mission Mangal, basically this Mangalian satellite, which actually takes off. Okay. So in the first case, what happens is they start the countdown from 100. Then there is a priest who says 101 se shuru karna hai. Okay, so they should start the countdown from 101. This is what he says actually. Okay, and in final, when in the climax, whenever they were about to launch this Mangalian rocket, what it happens is, despite of all the analysis, everything that they do, they'll start the countdown from 101. That's what you say, leaving no stone unturned. Means you don't know what happens in which thing. Okay, so that's why you should put all your maximum efforts in trying a particular thing. Okay, even sometimes you feel like it is useless or meaningless, whatever you say, but still we don't know what happens. Everything, whatever is possible in your hand, whatever you can do, you should do till the last moment. Okay, so this is what that sentence means. You should leave no stone unturned actually. Okay, so you should try to put each and every poem making method. Okay, fine. So connected to that poem making method. Okay, fine. So you have to look at each and every opportunity. Okay, this dynamics, what I'm telling you, you should observe the Telegram, this YouTube channels. Okay, you should know the dynamics of the interviews that's happening all over, because it's quite obvious all your interviews doesn't happen on the single date. Okay, it changes. So whenever this is the case, you should be very much in touch with the actual things that's happening in the panels, that's happening all over the cities in India, wherever the interviews are going on, what's happening. You should actually go through all these things. Clear? Once if you are done with all these things, then it is of very it's of very importance. Okay, then definitely it will help you out. Okay, and of course if you see what PW can do for you in this case. Okay, PW has come up with a very good initiatives recently 1.5 months back, and we have witnessed one of the great team that we are working together. And if you see, these are the 4 channels on YouTube which are available for you. Okay, Wallah, the main channel, the one right you are now. And if you see, on this channel we are posting the content which is common for all the branches. Okay, less much technical stuff, but right now if you see, we are trying to put videos on the content which is helpful to all the branches in common, that serves the purpose of all the branches actually. Okay, and of course if you see, we have 2 technical wise channels. Of course we have the Wallah mechanical, civil and XC channel. For example, if you're from mechanical, civil or XC, and some common subjects of chemical, like for example fluids, heat transfer, thermodynamics, these kind of subjects we are going here. And if you see, recently the crash course is going on for GATE 2023. So if you see carefully here, that this crash course is generally conducted by those people who are very good at it. Okay, so that's why if you see this channel, these 2 channels, they give you technical content. And of course if there is some South Indian guys like me who don't know Hindi much, then definitely there is this channel which is recently launched for you, for benefit of you actually, which is Wallah English. Here the complete content will be in English. Okay, but I want to give one honest suggestion to all of you, especially to who's many times when I'm teaching classes in the paid batches or at some locations, I get this question, sir कुछ में समझ में नहीं आया, हिंदी में बताइए. Actually the problem is, okay, I'll teach in Hindi, I'll try to teach in Hindi at least, okay, if I cannot teach properly. But then what happens is, I'll tell you, yes, to understand the concepts you should always learn in the language which is native to you. If it's Hindi, Marathi, whatever, you can just learn this. Okay, but the most important thing is, if you see, in olden days GATE paper used to be in bilingual, okay, in English and Hindi. But you have observed over the years what happened, the paper is only in English. And tell me honestly, speak honestly, let us suppose if you get an admission in IIT, or let us suppose if you get admission in some anything in abroad, for example MS, or in top IITs, IISc, anywhere there. Since I have seen IIT Madras and have seen many other IITs as well, even a single professor don't teach his or her class in English, in Hindi actually. Okay, the content is completely delivered in English. Okay, so what I tell you is, please make it a habit to read in English, to understand the things in English and to move ahead. Okay, I'm not telling it's a very important thing, but really it helps you out when you go for some technical interviews especially. Okay, or some basically if you attend any sessions of any senior professors, NPTEL, if you see all these things, they actually help you out. Okay, and if you want to thank exclusively some people for clearing these interviews like HPCL, what do you say, Department of Atomic Energy, I would like to thank three people actually. First person is a professor from IIT Madras. Okay, he taught few subjects in such a phenomenal way that no one would actually forget that. Okay, second is also another IIT professor from IITM. One person's name is Shamit Bakshi sir. He is from IC Engines lab. Second person is from one more lab again, thermodynamics lab, K. Srinivasan sir. And the third one whom I have to thank is the YouTube guy. Okay, because many of my concepts, many of my animations, what I have seen for understanding the subjects, okay, is basically from YouTube. Okay, so that's why nowadays if you see, YouTube is the very best source. Okay, and if you see, I'll tell you one honest thing, guys. I'll tell you one honest thing. Many times people or students in general, including me when I was a student once, we don't understand the seriousness of the situation. Okay, many of you feel that, sir, I have just passed BTech in 2022. I have one more year. I can, relax for some time and then start the preparation. Never, think in this way, because I will tell you. 2019, what happened is 2020 actually. 2020, DRDO has, launched its equipment. 2022, a couple of years back during COVID time. So this recruitment launched, many people started preparing for it effectively. So when people are preparing for it effectively, what happened is, because of some reasons out of human control, that recruitment got cancelled. Okay, now for 2 years there is no recruitment, and in 2022 they gave the recruitment. Now let us suppose if there is some guy who is at 26 at that time, he is expecting the next recruitment next year, so he was little chilled and enjoying, but recruitment didn't come for 2 years and the age limit is 28, for example. Okay, so what happens, obviously even in 2022 DRDO gave its recruitment, you cannot apply. Okay, sometimes it happened that whenever, because of the stringent conditions or stringent rules of the PSUs and departments, if they change certain eligibility criteria, then you will feel regret. Okay, never do that, because try to put each and every moment in the direction of your progress actually. Okay, that's what I want to say basically in this session. The most important point is, don't waste any single point of your time. Okay, if you're free, instead of watching some some comedy show or something, try to learn something new. Okay, and of course comedy shows are also really important. Even I'll watch every movie, but the important thing is you should spend good enough time on what actually comes out. Okay, and especially many people have this intuition like, normally BARC is the toughest technical interview. This is what people say generally, and really I felt that I have attempted many interviews in my life, but seriously I felt that's the most nice interview that I have ever appeared. Okay, interviews are not something like you have some set of predetermined, the questions because of this YouTube and all these things. You go to the interview panel, then they ask you those questions, you answer them and come back. No, it's not like that. People who make you think, okay, are the actual toughest panels. And yes, I thought for my well-known subjects once again after attempting BARC interviews. Okay, so that's why this is always good. So always try to have some good knowledge on the things, whatever you do. Okay, so you said you're going to talk about your mistakes while writing XE exam in which you got all India rank 40. Yeah, I'll tell you you want me to tell the mistakes? I'll tell you. Look, normally if you are writing GATE examination, since this session is towards interviews, I'm talking much about interviews, but if you want me to talk about GATE examination, I would just say some 2 to 3 things. Okay, first thing is, whenever you're writing GATE examination, the first majority of the students make this mistake is calculation mistakes, which happen by using the GATE calculator. I'll tell you one situation. Once a guy was coming to the GATE examination center with a Casio, means till that point he don't know that Casios are not allowed inside the GATE calculator, inside the GATE examination center. Now tell me, if your feeling is that there is nothing like GATE calculator, there is Casio, but at the entrance of the hall, if they don't allow your calculator, tell me about your mindset. Can you have confidence of answering at least one question? Can you have confidence of at least answering one question if they don't allow the GATE calculator and if they stop you at the entrance of the examination hall? Tell me, can you have the confidence of at least attempting at least a single question? Obviously no. Okay, that mind gets shattered. Okay, and I am telling you, the mistakes I committed was, at that time I have committed 8.66 marks of calculation mistakes. Okay, understand? 8.66. 2-3 questions I have made mistakes. So because of the negative marking, all these things, I have made some calculation mistakes, and definitely that went bad, and finally ended up with 40 in that year. Okay, so it happens in that way. Okay, so many times it happens. And the common thing is, I'll tell you one thing. If you see, many people, they study very effectively, because even in offline classes or in online classes, we see whenever, as soon as I display the question, they'll type the answer in the chat box because they are very sharp, obviously. Okay, but in the ending, after final year or something like that, these people will not be able to qualify GATE. The reason is these people didn't revise properly. The main technique for any competitive examination is revision. It should be must. In GATE examination exclusively, if you see, since GATE exam happens in the first, second weekends of Feb, if you see, it doesn't matter how much you study till, okay, it matters, but it's really more important what you study in November, December and January. These 3 months are very, very important. Okay, I'm telling you one thing honestly, if you don't study these 3 months, November, December and January, you will forget many of the basics and you will end up with disqualification, because I'll tell you why it happens. Let us suppose when I'm writing a formula, for example, let us suppose there is some formula like this, or let us suppose some different formula. I just want to give one example what can happen wrong in GATE examination. Let us suppose there is some formula like this, for example. Okay, there is some formula, some random formula. Now if you don't have a revision, what happens is, in exam, after writing this term, you will get a doubt, here 4 and here 8, or here 8 and here 4. You will get this dilemma. So half knowledge is always much dangerous than zero knowledge. So that's why instead of getting 0 marks, if you don't know that question, you might have left it, you might have got 0 marks, but when you try to attempt that, you will end up with negative marks. Okay, so that's why revision is one very, very important key for writing any competitive examination. Clear? And after revision, practice. Okay, it's not like I keep on studying for 10 times a day but end up with nothing. Okay, so after practicing, you should actually go for this. After revision, you should actually start attempting mock tests. After revision, you should start using virtual calculator. Using these things will make you know your mistakes. Okay, so and obviously, as I told in the beginning, if you start learning from your mistakes, definitely within no time you will finish 100% syllabus with full effectiveness. Actually, clear? So did you all understand what to have? How to revise thermodynamics, fluids, maths and aptitude along with job? Yeah, this is one very important question. Okay, many people tell that, sir, we are doing a job 9 to 5 or maybe 9 to 6, sometimes in private organizations, 9 to God knows what is the ending time. So we are doing such hectic jobs. How can we manage the studying time? This is one very important question. Okay, I'll tell you honestly, when I cleared BARC, Department of Atomic Energy, I was working with HPCL by that time. Okay, and if you see, doesn't matter, even if you're the Prime Minister of India, you always have some free time that is left for you. Okay, this is what I personally believe, and you also better believe in this. Okay, because all the two things that you need to succeed in anything is, not only in interviews, anything in general. First thing, a proper timetable. Okay, proper timetable should be made with very consciousness. Okay, because I'll tell you, it's not like suddenly one day you watch MS Dhoni movie and you make a timetable for 19 hours a day. No, that's not the case. Okay, you should actually prepare and you should actually make your timetable very effectively and correctly. And second thing, discipline, following that timetable. Okay, so if you can maintain these two, and of course the third thing, as I told you, perseverance. Once you are lost, don't feel like that's the end. Again, try for something attempt. Okay, and never feel like my interview, my knowledge, many people have this doubts like, sir, I am very much less knowledge, will I get GATE, will I qualify GATE, will I do something? Yes, every person you can do. Okay, if you see in our channel, there are many people who told like 16 backlogs to ISRO scientist. That's a fantastic session again by one of our teammate. So it's always really important for you to be confident. Okay, so if you are doing it with confidence, then definitely things will go out in your way. Okay, so there's a chat box of one problem. मैं फर्स्ट ईयर से हूँ, इफ मैं 2025 गेट लिया प्रिपरेशन करता हूँ, तो क्या आप फर्स्ट ईयर की प्रिपरेशन की बारे भी, सॉरी द कमेंट मिस्ड, जस्ट अ मिनट. ओके, इट केम. कंप्लीटली कंफ्यूज्ड हूँ, इस क्वेश्चन के आंसर लिए प्लीज रिप्लाई जरूर करें. ओके, फर्स्ट ईयर, इफ यू सी, बेस्ट एमटेक इन CS or AI or DS? Better in AI and DS. Okay, better in AI and DS. Backlog of BTech affects career. Yes, definitely, I'll talk about it also, but let us go in a line. So if you see, sir, I often tend to commit calculation mistakes, especially on virtual calculator. Don't know why. Just practice Noah Fatehi. You will definitely clear the things very easily. Okay, the main difference in between All India First Rank and All India 100 Rank is using this virtual calculator. That's it, honestly speaking. Okay, now if you see, yes, even for first years, definitely if you focus, there are a lot of fundamental subjects that are taught on these channels, like engineering, mathematics. Okay, and many other basic subjects like engineering, mechanics. If you see, these kind of basic subjects are being on this channel. So definitely, if you spend some time in productive time on these channels, definitely will get ahead of this. Okay, so backlog of BTech affects careers, not much, but as I say, partly yes, because I'll tell you honestly, I'll tell you, it's not like it don't affect. Yes, it has some effect, but not to major extent, I'll say, because when you have a backlog, let us suppose some companies they permit some backlog students also. Okay, some companies they don't allow, depending upon the company. Okay, so now if you see, anyhow, having good academic credentials is always a plus point, but try to clear all your backlogs within 1 year after completion of your BTech in least case. Okay, I'm telling you, don't keep them for 2-3 more years and keep on spending time on the subjects. If you have backlogs, yes, it's okay, sometimes it happen out of your control. So sometimes when you have backlogs, try to finish them within the first 1 year after the completion of your BTech in the least case. Okay, so please try to do this at least. Okay, because as I told you, the time decreases, because especially if you see nowadays, if you see the crux branches like computer science or all these things, what happens is, I'll tell you, let us suppose if you get passed out in 2021 with the technology or with the subjects what you studied in 2021, now if you keep on maintaining backlogs for 3 years, by the time you reach 2024, you will be still left with the knowledge set of 2021. Okay, so but by that time there will be 2023 2024 passed out students who are much more advanced than you. So definitely when company has a choice to pick one out of these two, definitely the company show preference for the recent guys. Okay, so it's not because of experience or something, but because of the recentness in the completion of the degree, because obviously curriculum might have changed a bit. So definitely companies do believe in this, that recent students have much more knowledge. Until and unless you have some experience, it would come little difficult for the senior most students if they are still appearing for the interviews. It happens. Okay, so I am preparing for GATE 2024. Till when should syllabus gets completed, and how much time for mock test I am from civil? Normally for any branch in general, mock test, if you should take at least 1.5 months, means at least by mid of the December, it's quite suggestible that you finish this syllabus. Okay, once you finish this syllabus, then spend enough time on especially writing the mock test. Okay, I'm telling you, mock test is very much important for you, and we have also launched one test series recently, and hopefully from 20th November I think it's going to be live, so you can have a look at it as well, and practice the questions as much as you can. Okay, try to learn from the mistakes. I've done MSc Maths. Am I eligible for GATE CS? Yeah, this I have to check, because yes, of course, CSC, if you see many of the data science students and all, they are from the probability and statistics basics bouncing. So once please check with the GATE official paper, this official notification. So I think it should be the case. Yes, you are eligible. Okay, because in GATE mathematics paper and CSC are given together, they can attempt both these papers. So I think it could be the case. Okay, Vinay sir, how to love maths and score 12 to 13 marks in GATE XC? Yeah, I think I am loving maths then. I'm getting it. Okay, so now if you see, mathematics should never be learned as a separate subject. Okay, the main mistake that people do in BTech colleges is they look at the lengthy derivations and get afraid, or they do something. Okay, but maths should be learned in such a way that it's an auxiliary or helping subject for the core subjects. Many of you might have observed, if you are doing good in the technical, if you are doing good in mathematics, then definitely that will help you to a lot extent in technical subjects. Correct? You're doing differentiations, integrations, Laplace transforms, this, that, complex numbers, whatever you do, if you are good at mathematics, definitely that mathematical knowledge will definitely keep you well in head. Even for computer science, probability and statistics, linear algebra, these are very strong functionality areas when you go for coding. Okay, so that's why try to have some good knowledge on engineering mathematics. Clear? I'm from different branch and write GATE in another different subject. Yes, recently Vinud Datsule sir has answered this question in one of his interviews with PW. You can see. So yes, you can write this, because whenever you see there are certain paper combinations that are available. For example, okay, so some paper combinations are available. Like for example, CSC can write maths, mechanical can write XC or PA. All these papers. Okay, so whenever there are certain multiple combinations available, definitely eligibility criteria would also be for multiple branches. Okay, so you can definitely check it. Okay, how much marks can an average student score in GATE XC Maths? Aryan, average student, and what we can call as an average student actually. Okay, so honestly speaking, yes, XC Maths is comparatively little complicated as compared to ECE normal core branches mathematics. If you see, XC Maths is slightly of such slightly higher level, but again, if you have all the fundamental basics correctly, you can score from 12 to 13, okay, at least more than 10, 11 to 13 marks on an average. Okay, so are you from Bihar? No, Andhra Pradesh. So how much marks can an average student? Okay, I think I answered this. Will PSU allow me if I am from different branch and write GATE in different another different subject. It depends on the functionality of the PSU. As I told you, for example, last time BSNL allowed electronics and other core branches which are closely connected to it. Okay, so sometimes people don't allow it, for example, sometimes it don't allow. Okay, for example, if you see recently one of the companies, for example, one of the PSUs, I forgot the name, but it has given except mechanical no others can apply. Okay, like for example, not automobile production, these kind of things cannot apply. Okay, so it again depends upon the basic idea or basic necessity or need of the PSU actually. Okay, your maths videos are awesome. Okay, thank you. Fine. Tara, how much one can score if he is very strong in PYQs alone in GATE XC? Something around 70 marks. Yes, because I'm telling you guys, as in the beginning I have told you, GATE examination is being conducted for more than 35 years. So if you see carefully, if you solve all the PYQs, definitely everything that comes you will find in PYQs, at least 70 to 80% of the paper. Okay, and one very important thing I would like to tell you guys, this is one misconception in many people's mind actually. For example, if GATE 2023 is being organized by IIT Kanpur, for example, that doesn't mean that IIT Kanpur gives the question paper. Okay, question paper is always set by a faculty team from the complete things, complete IITs, all the 7 institutes that organize the GATE examination. Okay, but actually you can guess one thing. Whenever the particular IIT is hosting the website or the GATE organizing institute, then that particular IIT can send the strongest department to set the questions from that particular topics. For example, if you see, for example, 2019 paper, okay, 2019 is organized by IIT Madras. Okay, so whenever it was organized by IIT Madras doesn't set the complete question paper, but IIT Madras is actually strong or well known for thermal heat, these kind of subjects. So if you observe that paper, many of you might have seen that year in mechanical exclusively, good questions are from the, some nice questions are from these topics actually. Okay, so it's always important for you, because I have seen this common misunderstanding in students. By the time they know that IIT Kanpur organizes GATE, they immediately go to NPTEL courses of IIT Kanpur, start reading all the courses of IIT Kanpur. It don't actually work out. Okay, so my sincere suggestion is, first of all, solve the PYQs and then go for whatever you want. Okay, so my question is, when GATE Wallah launches chemical engineering branch, we are expanding, definitely it depends on Alexas. Okay, how much time one should practice all PYQs to get 70 plus from your point of view? It doesn't matter much time. If people are sharp like you, maybe half an hour a day. If people are little dumb like me, maybe 1 hour a day. That's it. Okay, but the main target is to complete all the PYQs. If you can complete all the PYQs, definitely you can get that. So when is the release of test series? It is already November 15th, in next 5 days hopefully. Okay, fine. Okay, you should never ask someone how much time should I study. This is a wrong question. It depends on the individuals. If I study effectively, 2 hours is sufficient. If people don't study effectively, maybe 3-4 years is 3-4 hours could be the case. Okay, it always depends on, you keep a daily target, divide your syllabus into small parts. Okay, if you have a complete subject, divide it into topics, then again divide it into subtopics, and start finishing the subtopics day by day. This will definitely work and this will help you. Clear? And whenever you are listening any subject or learning any subject, make sure you're learning the concepts, not the equations. Okay, equations somehow you will get, but try to get the knowledge and try to get the understanding of the concept, then definitely you will work out. How many times? Two times at least, if possible. Third time also you can do the PYQs. So why you are not teaching maths? I was waiting for your maths. Very soon I'll bring it out. Okay, I was busy in some other courses right now in this other basically. So as soon as that is done, you will see me for some courses. Okay, does CGPA matter in PSUs like 8 except 65%? Honestly speaking, nothing much actually, because many PSU generally hardly speaking, no PSU gives, I haven't seen, generally PSUs don't give weightage for BTech percentage much. Okay, they'll just keep some criteria for the written test marks, some criteria for the group discussion, and some criteria for final interview, all these things. Okay, but your BTech marks generally don't create much impact. So can I ask you why you left PSU job and opted to teach? Because honestly speaking, I always love to get connected to academics, which I didn't find much connected when I was working in PSUs. So I have shifted. That's it. Does the test say subject wise topic or full length tests only? Subject wise topics are also there, so you can go for that. Okay, so anything that you would like to know from me, and I think I have one beautiful slide for you. That's it. Thank you. So if you have anything else, you can ask me. You can ask me for anything that you want technically, or something you feel that I can help you out, except some money. Okay, that I cannot do now, but I may do later. Okay, sir, can I do my MTech in CS specialization? Which branch are you from? Ayin? How was the feeling of leaving government job? Yeah, it's always something, that you don't want to do in life, but life asks you to do it. You need to do. That's it. Okay. One step towards success. Your English is nice. Thank you. Yeah. Any other things that I hope if you all liked this session, then it will definitely help you. Does automation will kill PSU jobs? No, never. How to overcome relative scholars failure? Fine. This is a very good question. At where you prepare English? No, I generally speak English. That's it. Best IIT for MTech design. Go to Kharagpur, or even Mumbai is very good. Okay. I am from Tipli. Wanted to do MTech CSE. Yeah, nowadays if you want data science or CSE, I think it's commonly available to or any one of you. You need to check with the individual IIT website. Admissions page. Okay. So if you get IIT admissions page, then definitely it will help you. IIT Jam launching today. Good. Great. So in which field you did PhD? I actually didn't finish it, but I was working on the engines. Okay. Yeah, love you all. You don't know Hindi? हिंदी भी आता है, लेकिन हिंदी में सेशंस बाद में लेते हैं. ठीक है. How much rank should I secure for studying at IITs or IISc? Something around 500. Below 300 is always suggestible. Okay. So what was your job in BARC? I was in the training period at that time. By the time I resigned. Okay. Can I do MTech in CS with lower branches like printing, construction engineering in Jabalpur University? Look, I'll tell you one thing. University doesn't matter for you. Okay. It only matters is the name of the degree basically. Okay. Because sometimes degrees are classified based on the BTech mechanical engineering, BTech chemical engineering, these kind of names. Okay. So those names are actually important for you. MK random. Sorry, I was not answering your questions. मेरे questions का reply नहीं दिए sir. Okay, I think I missed it. So if you don't mind, please type again. Okay, just for one time. I'll answer this. Please release test series of Gate Wallah as soon as possible. Yes, the background work is going on. Very soon you will have a launch for it, and you'll with the exact details like name, date and all these things. Yeah, any IIT is good, definitely. How to improve our English to be fluent like you without a rank won't matter. Okay, yeah. Rank is something that depends on your technical skills, but English is something like if you generally watch some English movies or if you speak in English, that will definitely help you out. But you're such a gem of a person. Really, you're great faculty. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all. Yeah, so PSU stop recruiting to GATE after 2024. No chance. Okay, PSUs keep on going. Can I do MTech in CSE via GATE CS? Yes, obviously. Why not? Best AI MTech IIT. Sorry, what is this? Best AI. IISc Bangalore is doing good, and undoubtedly IIT Bombay. Okay. And recently IIT Madras is also doing very good after the director got changed. What rank is needed for IIT general category? It depends on the branch you want. You can take on below 300 to 400 could definitely get you some good seat, or sometimes even 1000 2000 if you don't want to go on very toughest branches. So my English is also good, but when I'm speaking, okay, fine. So does a UG college matters for GATE? No, never. Nowadays PSU's work-life balance is becoming worse. No, not much actually, but there are some PSUs where job is like emergency ward job. Okay, for example, when I was working with HPCL, I was posted in refinery. Let us suppose if there is a leak on the petrol pump, and I cannot say that okay, tomorrow I'll come and see. Okay, I cannot say that. So sometimes you feel little hecticness, but majority you'll enjoy the job. No issues. Okay. From which year should I start preparing for GATE? I'm in first year. You can start from tomorrow. No issue. Start with mathematics, basic subjects. Okay. Mathematics कब पढ़ाएंगे sir? Soon. After my courses on other things are over, I'll come. Okay. What rank in GATE needed for BARC? Normally in Baba Atomic Research Center there are two channels for entry. One thing is for to the GATE examination. Second thing is to written test. There is separate written test also conducted by BARC. So if you write that written test, then definitely based on both the channels they'll shortlist the candidates. Can we join PSU after MTech? Yes. Overqualification never stops you from attending. Okay. You can apply only with BTech. I am doing the things. It's good. Can we join PSU after MTech? Yes, definitely. You can join. Okay, Ayn? Fine. Any more questions? Rank of IIT Delhi CSE MTech. I'm not very much sure with the digits, but you can get it in the official website. Better once go for the official website. You have cutouts. Okay. Yeah, love you too. Rank for IIT Delhi CSE MTech. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I cannot speak about the exact figures, but we can always have the official cutoffs from the websites. So how can I join ISO? 3 ways. I'll tell you how to join ISO. Total 3 ways. 1, direct ICRB. Whenever ISO launches a notification, you give the exam, clear the exam, go for interview, clear the interview, and get the job. Second, try to get an MTech in IITs or IISc Bangalore. There, ISO or DRDO comes for campus placements, at least to the top 5 IITs and IISc Bangalore. Okay. Third, if after you complete your MTech, many students don't know this, guys. After completing of MTech, what happens is there is an option in ISO website which is called live register for PG PhD candidates, which many of the students might not know. If I think I would spend some time on this, since it's an important thing, ISRO. Let us see. Many of you might not know this, but this is actually something helpful. Okay, so if you see live registration of PhD holders and PGs with relative experience. So if you click on this, for example, if you click on this and if you try to apply, then there is this portal where you can always register. If you have an MTech or something like that, then definitely you can always, you need not wait for the recruitment. Okay, if you really want to work with, ISO, then after your MTech is finished, or if you have PhD, you actually need not wait for the recruitment of the ISO. You can always apply here, and whenever there exists a vacancy, you will get a mail or hint from them. Okay. Fine. So HK Das mathematics is complete for semester. Yes, I think that is fine. Work from home in PSU, not much in these kind of PSUs like HPCL, mechanical type of PSUs, but you can get some work from home in some telecom, such kind of PSUs. Okay. So I have a major problem while studying. I can't concentrate for longer time, and when I get up, I can't sit again. Just think of what happens if you don't get a gate rank, or if you don't get settled for 3-4 years. Immediately you'll get motivation and concentration. Okay. It actually pushes you to the best. Okay, to focus. So I just got into BTech CSE. What should I do? Just be sincere from day one. That's it. You need not run for the courses and all. Just stay calm and be focused every day. That's enough. Okay. When we can expect you to teach maths on YouTube. Okay, when you can expect me to teach maths on YouTube? Maybe, as I told you, I cannot say the date, but very soon. Okay. Get exam for ISI. I don't know what is ISI. Indian Statistical Institute is what you are talking. ISI is Indian Statistical Institute, right? Yeah, you can get exam. I think MSc admissions is given to JAM exam, I think, but not GATE. Better go for JAM in that case. Okay. I have a master's in maths and computing. Can I go for ISO? Yes, definitely. In this basically in the programming section you can go. Okay, program autonomy, you can apply. Scores and cutoffs, honestly speaking, we cannot talk about the exact numbers. It has certain dynamics that changes from year to year, but it if you have certain enough idea, you will definitely able to make it. Okay, fine then. So we had a 1 hour long session, but I hope this session might have definitely helped you out, and I hope you liked this session. So yes, clear? Is this session helpful to all of you? Send me some heart symbols here if you really like it. So how to apply for company like Micro, Amazon, Infosys, etc. after BTech CSE? Anivia, first try to finish 2 to 3 years of your BTech, then you can definitely see. These companies will definitely come to you. Okay. So one last question to you, huh? You can ask me. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you, Apex Delta. Okay. So for suggest something for Maths XC. Actually, for Maths XC, there are no much standard textbooks that you can follow, but I can give you some good names. BS Gravel is one very good book for some topics. Again, for Maths, if you can generally go to this individual courses. For example, okay, I'll find some time, definitely I'll make one session on this, hopefully. Okay, you will get this. 5 quick tips for single digit rank in XE 2023. Okay, tip number 1, complete your syllabus and practice as many tests as you can. Tip number 2, complete the syllabus and practice as many tests you can, and so on, plus 3. Okay, so this is the only technique where you can get easily single digit rank if you don't commit mistakes in exam for what you have learned. Okay, fine then. So bye to all of you. We'll meet again soon on this channel with some other nice session, and we'll have some good idea on other things as well. Okay, so but this is how this interviews and all help you out, and if you have any doubts, you can always ask something in the Telegram channels, whatever. Real analysis, you can take this complex numbers by this person, no? I forgot the name, but the complex numbers is actually in one very good book, like Evin Kwasik. You can go for Evin Kwasik. Okay, yeah, thank you all, love you too, bye. We'll meet tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, I have some other work or some other sessions, but very soon we'll meet again on this channel and we'll share some good content. Okay, yeah, thank you all, thank you. Okay, good night. We'll meet soon again on this channel with some other nice session. Okay, so thank you all. I hope you all enjoyed this session and liked it. So thank you. Yeah, thank you all, thank you.